Hi everyone, it is Wednesday. I would love to be able to get a call at the last minute from my preferred ride service saying that they're able to take me home after all. But honestly, I don't expect them to. If they were going to do that, I think they should have done it by now. They could. If they do, of course I'll say, yeah, thank you so much. But I'm not holding my breath. I think they're not available. Just like they said they weren't on Monday. And what'll happen is I'll get a call from the automated system that is the door-to-door transit system telling me that my ride will be here in the next 15 minutes, and then I'll spend that 15 minutes standing inside or maybe stepping outside for a minute and then coming back inside, or just being in this nervous condition I'm in while I'm waiting for door-to-door transit to pick me up from work, because I don't, even though there's a big door-to-door transit sign, I mean the sign doesn't say door-to-door transit, it says company that runs door-to-door transit, which I'm not going to put that name in my vlog, but even though there's a big sign over it, I still don't trust them to find it, because frankly I use the door at the back of the building. Everyone else uses the door at the front of the building, and there are 4 doors on the damn place in the first place, and it's just well, anyway, I'm vlogging it hoping that it'll help make it make sense why going into work and specifically going home from work is so stressful. And then if I ever figure out how to, I'll vlog the process of figuring out how to take door-to-door transit out of it. But then taking door-to-door transit out of it would mean if the preferred ride service is not available, which I'm gonna dare say like 30% of the time maybe they are not, what are my options? I don't know yet. That's why I've only got a couple of them, and if any of them are not available, what am I left with? I'm going to have to take on the process of finding other options, because like I said, my goal is to just take door-to-door transit out of taking me home. They can take me in, but it's just too stressful to ask them to take me home, and what you're about to see with your ears will hopefully show why. Technically my workday should be over. It's 2 o'clock, or it's a little after 2 o'clock, but I called the door-to-door transit electronic phone system to get an ETA, and it's not expected till in half an hour. I'm like, I'm gonna keep working then. I mean, if I'm stuck here anyway, and I just texted that to my boss and she texted back, okay, no problem. So yeah. Okay, you guys, you said that it was gonna be here at about 2:39. It's 2:26. Where's the call? 15 minutes from 2:39 would have been I can't do math. But $15 minutes away from 2:40 would have been 2:25. 2:24 then. I do think I'm going to try to finish this bin and call it quits for today, because it does take like 10-15 minutes to get a tote done, and I don't want to start one and then be 2 minutes into it and get the call, because as soon as I get that 15-minute warning call, my focus goes to meeting my ride or trying to make sure I know that it's gotten here. It's tempting to call this system back and see if they want to give me an updated ETA, and then you watch, it'll try to call me while I'm trying to call it. $2:32. I'm calling this thing back.
Trip status. If you have a trip scheduled to arrive within the next 90 minutes, press 1. You have a trip currently scheduled within the next 90 minutes. The vehicle is estimated to arrive in approximately 17 minutes.
Okay. Well. Okay. It just came in. The call just came in. So now I'm collecting my stuff and going to the door, and I'm not going to make you sit and listen to 15 minutes of silence, but okay. I don't know if I can be seen standing right here. I don't want to get much closer because I'm activating the sensor that opens the door, and I mean, I don't want to keep tripping that if I'm not going out. This is why I need someone to like stand here with me and be like, no sign of them yet, nothing to worry about. Well, my boss's boss just kind of came around and said he'd keep an eye out too, so. At least the people I work with keep an eye out for me, and I should learn to trust them more, but I don't want to bother them with this. I'd like to just have my own crap together. No, you're definitely not going to hear all this, because I end up having conversations that, like I've said in the past few videos, I will not put conversations with other people up. I just won't do it. You might hear my side of the conversation if I want to vlog it at all. A colleague came over and made the time bearable, and now she thinks she sees it, so. And I know she's got my back, so I'll just kind of hang out here until she comes back and gets me, so. I'm going to turn this off now, actually, and I'll talk to you when I get home or when I'm in the vehicle. They must be driving around to the wrong doors. She's having to flag them down, because it's taking her a little minute to get back. Okay, what's going on? Well, I don't think you're the first one to do that. It's just a tricky freaking area. Okay, we've finally connected, and I'm headed home. And I'll talk to you when I get home. I'll probably just wrap the vlog up. I'm finally home at 3:33 p.m. At least this should be the last time I have to deal with that this week. Tomorrow, door-to-door preferred ride service has me covered both ways. That was... The 15-minute call came in. Thank goodness I had this person just hanging out with me, talking to me, and keeping an eye out. If I could get that every time I needed to count on these guys, it would make me feel better, but let's call this like it is. Number one, I feel like that's not their job. I really appreciate her being willing to do that for me. But in the beginning, when I started working there, after a few little issues happened, the decision was made that I would use the front door of this place. And it was someone's job to walk me back to the back of the building to my workstation. That would just be a part of accommodating my disabilities. Well, 2.5, 3 years later, the decision was made that it was no longer acceptable for the person who was walking me back to do it anymore. And that since I worked back there, I should be using the other door. Or at least that's the way it came across to me. The person whose job it was to take me back there told me that she wasn't going to be able to do it anymore. She wasn't going to be allowed to do it anymore, and we were going to have me using the other door. Maybe the discussion was not, why is she being carried back there? I wasn't carried, I was being walked back there. But why is it somebody's job to walk her back there? She should be using the other door. You know, maybe that wasn't the discussion. Maybe the discussion was, well, maybe she could do this more independently if she would use the other door. Let's have her using the other door. I don't know how the discussions went. I just know what I was told when the decision was made. But what goes through my mind is, if it became too much trouble for people to walk me across the building every day, if that became too much trouble, how much time do I have needing coworkers keeping an eye out for me and hanging out with me and looking at whatever entrance they might happen to show up at and chasing them down when they can't even figure out what building to go to, before that becomes too much trouble too? And then what happens? Because of that and the stress of having to deal with it, period, I really want to take door-to-door transit out of taking me home. They may take me in there, but I really don't want to ask them to take me home. But when my preferred ride service is not available, I have to get home from work. And by the smallest amount, door-to-door transit is better than taking Uber or Lyft, because they are equally random drivers, probably even less familiar with not only the place, but dealing with people who are disabled. At least the door-to-door transit ADA compliant service that took me home today knows how to deal with people who are disabled. Like, they know that they need to actually speak to me. I'm not going to see them sitting there. They understand the concept of me taking their elbow and they walk. But I really want to find better, and I need to find better before what I need when door-to-door transit is the only way I have to get home becomes too much trouble for my coworkers to see me through. I don't know if I'm going to put that in the vlog or not, but there it is, in case I decide to. On that note, or whatever note I decide to end this, I'm ending this. Thank you for listening to this audio-centric video. Check out the links in the description box below, and you'll hear from me in the next video. Bye.